Hey there, everybody. It's your brother from another mother, Evil Aniki, and today we're talking about New York Comic Con because news just broke maybe about a day and a half ago that they're moving from a 4-day convention to a 5-day convention. Now, this sounds like a big change. It's not going to have any effect on the normal general admissions. If you get your general admissions ticket, it's going to still be a 4-day ticket, but they're adding a 5th day, which is going to be at the start of the convention. So normally it would start on like a Thursday, and now they're going to have it start on a Wednesday, and this Wednesday is going to be a special preview night for specific people, and we'll get into that in just a second. But this actually just is pretty new. I mean, there's not many websites talking about this, so I found a few articles that I could go through, and we're going to go to the actual New York Comic Con website as well and go through some of the stuff there. So this is from bleedingcool.com, and I'll have a link to this article and all the other articles down in the description below. So New York Comic Con now 5 days long, Wednesday for comic retailers. And this is interesting. So New York Comic Con is expanding from 4 days to 5 days in 2024 to match San Diego Comic Con, but only if you are a comic shop. I don't necessarily think that's true. That's kind of a hook there they're trying to get you with. New York Comic Con is expanding from 4 days to 5 days in 2024. Now, let me just go through some of the important parts here. Uh, the 16th of October, which will be the Wednesday that it will be starting on now, uh, will be dubbed Retailer Day for comic book retailers and sponsors of the event. More than just a preview night, it will be a full day of programming, meetups, and more, running from noon to 9 p.m. So this is what, like a full 9 hour day. So it's a long that's a long event. Wow, I didn't think it was going to be that long. So a lot of conventions usually have a preview night, and mostly the smaller ones. So like Monster Palooza, for example, that's a big horror convention here in Los Angeles, and they usually have, if I remember correctly, they usually have Saturday and Sunday as their main days, and then there's usually a preview night on Friday. And I think Power Morphicon, which I'll be going to in just a week or so from now, actually also has a preview night as well. And yeah, it's just sort of a thing that a lot of conventions do is they have a preview night to get the party started. So like if they're trying to be like a little bit bigger, and they usually have this as like, people fly into town for this event and then they're like there for an extra day, and because they have to set up their booths or all these specific things, and sometimes they'll sell general admission tickets for these preview days, sometimes they won't. And it's really interesting to see a big convention doing this. I've long thought conventions need to be expanding their days because there's so much to do. Like Anime Expo, I would love if Anime Expo got longer, but that's besides the point. I know a lot of people can't get all the PTO off for that. um, so going through this article, let's see here. Is there anything else in here that important? Um, no, this is just talking about some other stuff. Let's see about this other article. So this article is from publishersweekly.com. Do they got any more info here? Uh, the Wednesday affair, per a release from New York Comic Con and corporate parent Reed Pop, offers a full slate of panels, workshops, and mixers throughout the day to be held at the River Pavilion in New York City's Javits Center on Wednesday, October 16th. The day-long event, per New York City, New York Comic Con, will feature programming from Comic Pros, DC Comics, and Lunar Distribution, among other as yet unannounced participating companies. That's pretty cool. Uh, and this is sort of regurgitating. The con will open its doors on Wednesday exclusively to industry professionals carrying badges in the following categories: Artist Alley, Content Creators, Exhibitor, Press, Pro. Uh, Pro Thursday? What is Pro Thursday? I don't know what a Pro Thursday is. Pro 4 day. Oh, so I guess if you get the Pro Pass for, if you only pay for, that's weird. I don't know what a Pro Thursday pass is. I've never heard of that. I've not gone to New York Comic Con. Is this a thing? I usually just assume that Pro Passes you get the 4 day because there's the Pro 4 day here, right? I've never heard of a Pro 1 day pass. It's kind of weird. And writer's block. Programming on Thursday, which features the bulk of the show's programming for comic professionals, as well as professional programming across the other 3 days at the con, will remain open to all badge types. So All the other programming for the event will still be open for other people. And I think a lot of this is just sort of going over. Let's just keep going through it. The move to further expand professional programming at New York Comic Con follows the con's move last year to launch an industry summit at New York Comic Con. The 4 hour program followed Thursday's annual day long professional comics programming, including a program for Comics Pro on graphic novel metadata and the state of the industry. ICV2's, I don't know, annual white paper presentation on slate of gaming and the 50th anniversary of direct marketing, blah, 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 hosted by Comics Pro. And okay, that's cool. Let's just jump into actual, like, we're gonna go to Twitter real quick. So this is New York Comic Con's actual Twitter. I don't follow them. Maybe I should. Here, I'll follow them. I'll give them the follow. I don't think they're hurting for followers. Yeah, they got almost 500,000 here. But yeah, they made this post new for 2024. This is just from August 15th. So 2 days ago. Professional programming for comic book industry, including publishers, retailers, is happening Wednesday, October 16th. That's cool. We've already opened up the article here. And so here we go. We're going to dive into what they're actually accepting for this because I think this is interesting. We're going to talk a little bit more about this as well. And again, they say the Pro Thursday here. And oh my goodness, what is this? I don't mean to do that. Yeah, this is sort of just regurgitating the info that I read from the article. The article probably just pulled it from this. So yeah, this is interesting. Hmm. For the first time ever, New York Comic Con has expanded to a 5 day programming, blah, blah, blah. If you are attending as I'm going to go over some of the important parts here that I think I want to talk about. If you're attending as a professional, retailer, creator, librarian, lawyer, game developer, any part of pop culture industry, please join us for the 5 days of content curated to help take your career to the next level of your industry. Okay, cool. Uh, but what if you're not already in industry pro? Don't worry. Professional programming. Okay, so the professional programming will remain there for the rest of the event. Um, Wednesday is open to industry professionals with Artist Alley, Writer's Block, Pro Thursday, Pro 4 Day, Press, content creators, and exhibitor type badges. Now, this is interesting. So I'm going to go to the big cam here because we don't need to have this up anymore. So this is interesting because they're saying that they're going to allow content creators and I mean, I understand with like having Artist Alley being able to go. So Artist Alley is probably not going to be making many sales on this day, this Wednesday, and I don't even know if it would be open. So they're probably just extending this to be like saying, hey, if you get your Artist Alley booth here, you can come to this, day one event while you're setting it up, your booth probably. Because usually people go the day before the event to set up their booth. Sometimes they have, a couple days to set up for larger events, but that's interesting that, they're including Artist Alley into this. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be an additional cost that's put onto Artist Alley, but I do like this. This is a really good idea. I think more events need to be doing this because, this would really cut down on a lot of the people who are just trying to like uh, do things at conventions. So going through this, uh, Artist Alley. So Artist Alley never gets to go to like anyone who's in Artist Alley, they're stuck at their booth like almost the entire convention unless they have helpers. So this gives them a chance to get out and actually explore stuff at the con, I assume. Writer's Block. I don't really know what the Writer's Block is. Maybe that's like a comic specific thing for New York Comic Con and maybe San Diego Comic Con. Pro Thursday, don't know what that pass is. Pro 4 Day, that's cool. Press, it makes sense that press would want to come to this because this seems like a very press orientated and professional type of mixer type event. But the interesting one I think is like the biggest deal here is the content creator. So content creators being able to go to this day, pre, event day is really interesting because a lot of people get content creator passes for being cosplayers or being vloggers or for all sorts of reasons. You could have a TikTok account, you could have a YouTube account, you could have an Instagram account, you could have a blog, like you could just be a photographer. There's a lot of different types of content creators out there. But I think the most ones that we see of are, on Instagram through cosplayers. I think cosplayers are probably the most uh, seen content creator out there. And this is interesting. So it basically gives these content creators like early access to the convention because without all the crowds. I mean, there's still going to be crowds from all the people trying to set up, and there's going to be crowds from this actual pre-event event. Uh, but it's interesting because this is going to be like a 9 hour window that they're going to be able to walk around this space and be able to film TikToks, film videos, do all these things that normally they wouldn't be able to do. And this is really interesting because like a lot of the time, like when people do like content creators do cosplay, they're just taking photos all day. So or they're trying to do their own TikToks while they get a break, or they're specifically assigned to a booth because they're there to like like a lot of Nikkei cosplayers get signed up with the Nikkei booth, or Azur Lane cosplayers, they're signed up with the Azur Lane booth and Blue Archives, and the list goes on and on and on. I can't how many times I've seen cosplayers at booths for cosplaying specific characters. I don't know, but it's a thing, right? So this basically gives them an early access pass to come in and film a bunch of TikToks, which is cool. Which I think this is great. I don't know if they're going to be able to walk around the full convention. I think this is just going to be a specific area, but it's interesting because I mean, the exhibitor hall is probably still going to be, in the middle of construction. The artist alley is probably going to be still getting set up as well. And, they're probably not going to want a lot of extra people walking around those areas because, for starters, they're trying to set up, right? So, like, they're probably not going to be open in that sense. And again, it also, in the article that I read, it said that it was going to be in what space was it? It was in uh it was specifically in a room, a loot. No, that's not what it is. I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting. I I'm curious to see how this is gonna go, like this is gonna turn out. If this is what Comic-Con does, I'm assuming Comic-Con has the same San Diego Comic-Con has the same type of, preview day, because that's what all this whole hubbub is about, is New York Comic-Con trying to be more in line with San Diego Comic-Con, which is cool. I mean, man, I really want to go to some conventions in New York eventually, because it really seems like New York and LA have some of the best conventions. Texas too. There's some really great conventions down in Texas and Georgia uh, that I really want to go to, and yeah, there's conventions all over I want to go to. But that's besides the point. But yeah, I'm curious. My ideal convention though is I'd really love to see Anime Expo specifically be extended. I do think there's so many big retailers at Anime Expo that it makes it really hard to see all of them within 4 days. And I don't even think a fifth day would solve that issue. I think if you just added a fifth day, it would create um, more people. I think more people would just go because there's so many people who don't end up going to Anime Expo because they're scared of how big the crowds are going to be. Uh, and this year's Anime Expo was really, really. It was the crowds were great. I mean, some areas were a little congested, but it was pretty easy getting around through most of the sections. The only time there was a really big crowd was, when they're opening the halls and on the first day, and probably some of the other days too. I never got there early enough for the other days to need that because I went to straight to the panel room, so I didn't have to like run to get in the halls. But my ideal Anime Expo convention would be maybe like a 2 week event. So it's like a Friday to Sunday, and then like I think it would be better if it was like a Saturday to Monday, and then a Friday to Sunday. So that would turn it into a 6 day event. And I think that would be really, really unique because by splitting it up by a week, you give 3 days in the middle there where people who are flying in for Anime Expo, and that gives them time to like, travel around and explore. And at the same time, if you have Artist Alley, you could have Artist Alley swap out, or you could have exhibitors swap out. You could rearrange booths. I mean, it's a little bit of work, but it would make your convention feel a lot more alive. And yeah, it would just be really, really interesting to see something like that. And, it would give, uh, because a lot of people come out for Anime Expo and they're out here for a week, maybe 2 weeks. And I mean, if they're already going to be out here for 2 weeks, give them some time, like to like do more Anime Expo stuff. I don't know. I'm being a little crazy, and I'm kind of gone off topic here. I think that New York Comic Con adding a fifth day with this whole content creators and exhibitors and artist alleys and writers going, I think is a great idea. I think 9 hours is a really long chunk for that to actually happen. I don't think I've ever seen a preview night be that long. But if they're going to be having panels and workshops through the whole day, and they're going to be sponsored by like industry pros, and it's going to be worth it. I think it's a great idea. Let me know what you guys think, though, down in the description below. I'm going to call it there for this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.